In the lieu of time, we'll go ahead and get started. Please note, I always record these sessions and I send out the PowerPoints as well as the link to the recording afterwards. And so you can access any of the information. And I usually add additional notes to the notes section of the PowerPoint in case there are links or other websites that I refer you to. So please feel free to sit back, relax. And if you have any questions, please feel free to chime in. So first and foremost, can you believe it's almost September already? I can't believe the summer has come and gone and the semester has begun so quickly, and we're into another fall. And so thank you for taking time to be with me this morning. And Dr. Kelly has requested that each sort of content area of student services that reports to him conduct either monthly or bi-monthly webinars for updates that may be coming down or trickling down from the system level. So I have some information that he wanted to make sure that we shared with everyone, and we'll go ahead and start with that. So first and foremost, our student services team is somewhat intact. As many of you know, Miss Lentz, who was our program assistant, has recently taken a new position at Wake Tech. So we are still currently in the process of hiring a new assistant, but our remaining staff is intact. So Dr. Kelly is still the Associate Vice President. Dr. Wanda White is still the Director of Student Services. Dr. Hickman is the Associate Director of Enrollment Management. Dr. Hughes is our Program Coordinator, all things disability services for our system. Ms. McLean is the Associate Director of Student Support, so advising college and career readiness and other student support avenues are sort of swirled under her. And then I myself oversee student life. Two things of note. Dr. White has announced her retirement date, so we'll be looking to add to our staff here in the fall. Dr. White will be retiring at the end of the semester, so if you're interested in working at the system office in some capacity in student services, if that's your next career move, I'll definitely let you know once that job description and everything application becomes available. So that is our staff moving forward for the academic year. The biggest news from the system office level recently has been the announcement of the statewide performance measures. So each year the statewide performance measures are published for the beginning, right at the beginning of the fall semester, which is basically a year review from the prior fall. And you'll see there are a number of measures that the report has. This year, the report has, our research team has created a web portal for interactive dashboards, so you can look for not only system data, but your institution data over time across all of these measures and really drill down to some really insightful data and outcomes. And so one of those I just like to quickly share. So that's the curriculum student completion. So our research team took the fall first time credential seeking curriculum students, and we tracked them for 4 academic years, and we measured the percentages of students that have either graduated, transferred, or are still enrolled during their 4th academic year with 42 or more successful non-dev ed hours, right? It's a mouthful. And for the system, I factor anyone to guess, but if you're guessing in your head what that number is, for the system, we average right at 47% of our students have either graduated, transferred, or still enrolled with 42 or more non-dev ed hours after 4 years, which is relatively decent. Obviously, we'd like to see that number increase. And when you look across our demographic populations, you'll see that there are some significant differences when race and gender are added to that mix. And so if you are a data person, you want to understand not only what all of these measures look like for our system, but as well as your local institution, as well as peer institutions. Um, all of these interactive dashboards are really, really great resources for information. And so I'll have links and notes on how to find those. And all the links in our presentation are active, so you can just click and it'll take you directly to the dashboard for more searching and more information. All right. The next big change that was announced on August 1st is that the General Assembly passed a statute that will permit CCP pathways, both on the college transfer and CTE side, to be offered to some freshman and sophomore high school students. And of course, this impacts student life because, as you know, our CCP and early college and middle college populations are growing. And so I imagine they want to be engaged when they're on your campuses as well. And so now there are certain pathways that freshmen and sophomores can join. And so we imagine that the number of career and college promise students will increase over time. This isn't a mandate, so the institution can decide whether they choose to sort of opt in or opt out in terms of offering freshmen and or sophomore students with courses or pathways. And so I imagine that some institutions are going to be making some internal decisions fairly quickly if they haven't already done so. And so we wanted to make sure that our student life folks were aware of you may have younger and younger students who may find their ways on your campuses or in your organizations and or wanting to be involved in the different things that you provide. And so that's something that you should, if you're not in that conversation, or if you haven't heard of that conversation locally at your institution, maybe ask around. And literally that email went out maybe not even 2 weeks ago. And so I know colleges are sort of trying to grapple with how they adjust for the fall and then moving forward. Any questions on that? No questions? All right. As you know, our presidential search, they continue to change over time. And so I think we're up to over 42 presidential changes since 2015. And 3 colleges have recently announced new presidents. And so that's Nash, GTCC, and Roanoke Shawan. They have new presidents as of voted on this past state at this past state board meeting. There are 7 colleges currently searching for presidents, right? So AB Tech, COA, Gaston, Haywood, Martin, Robinson, and Western Piedmont. And I have a link to the college status report here. So our system publishes sort of a monthly update of where presidential searches are for each institution in our system. And so that link and that information will be in the presentation. And so just know that the turnstile of presidents or the change of presidents in our system is continuously ongoing as our system, either folks are retiring or moving to other opportunities. And so this may be an opportunity if you're sort of searching and wanting to find your way to that administrative chair, and just know that there are a lot of opportunities coming down the pipe for you. All right. Along those lines, so Ms. McLean has created an advising listserv, and that anyone can join. And this listserv will be basically there for primarily 2 reasons. One, to serve as sort of a resource hub to contact other advisors or throw out advising questions, as well as ongoing discussion, best practices, and sort of finding ways to share unique tools and other things that campuses may be doing locally with other institutions within our system. So that there is an advising listserv. In order to request access to it, you send an email to your IT person locally and request to be added to the advising CC distribution list. They should take care of everything on the back end, and then you'll start receiving communications from us once messages are sent out on that listserv. Two other advising resources that, if you are not aware of, there's the College Transfer Program Association, the CTPA, and the website's here in the presentation, and you'll have that resource as well as the North Carolina Community College Advising Association N3C2A. It's the statewide association for advising, free to join. The contact information for Marcia Miller is here in the email presentation. If your position touches advising in any way, you want to be sort of connected to that advising conversation, please feel free to join any of these organizations or information. For those who may be familiar, so Governor Cooper has set aside $7 million for the Finish Line grant last fall, and those grant applications and money are still available for students, not only this fall, but through the end of the academic year. And in September, we're hosting a Finish Line Grant Symposium hosted at GTCC's Conference Center. It is free to attend. NC State, in conjunction with the system office and our workforce development partners, are hosting it. And so the link, as well as the registration information for that symposium, is available to you. I'm sure we all deal with students who may have a financial crisis or some type of need that may be not associated with an academic barrier. And so it's a great way to find out what other colleges are doing, the processes of how they share Finish Line grants to their student populations, things of that nature. Sort of along with this, with the Finish Line grants, we know that there are some colleges that have Finish Line grant ambassadors, where students that they've hired to help share the word about to other students about Finish Line grants if a student may be in need. And some of the conversations or some of the feedback that we've received from them has been really great. So if you if you're at a campus where you feel that word may not be as spread around regarding Finish Line grants and the opportunities to seek additional funding to help you close out your degree or credential, one of the suggestions was to include information in the syllabus. Some colleges have had wonderful feedback in terms of tabling and all those other types of sitting in high traffic areas and going from there. So it's a wonderful opportunity not only to spread the word, but to help more of our students finish their degree and credential. All right, moving on. So for our comprehensive, so the N4C SGA, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. N4C SGA was founded in the fall of 1969. And so we are excited about our 50th anniversary fall convention that will be hosted at Forsyth Tech on November 8th through the 10th in Winston-Salem. And we encourage everyone to attend. Registration information for our fall convention will be sent out shortly. As many of you know, we also have division meetings scheduled, and here they are for Eastern, Western, and Central. They will take place in just a few weeks. September 24th, the Eastern will be at Pitt Community College, the Central will be at South Piedmont, and the Western will be at Gaston College. They typically go from approximately, we'll say 9 to 4, 9 to 3. And we hope that you will send a delegation to those as well as we discuss issues as well as prepare for our 50th anniversary convention. We're also looking for presenters for our fall convention. And so I believe Shauna Loftus, who is our current senior advisor, sent out that information on the first week of classes about 2 weeks ago. So September 27th will be our deadline for workshop submissions and proposals. We're looking for about 9 to 12 leadership, student activities, or student government related workshops. So if you have an interest or expertise in any of those areas, please make sure you submit a proposal to provide more information for our students. Any questions? I guess while I'm here, I'll also share that we do have four open positions on our N4C SGA Executive Board. And so if you have a student that may be interested in serving, please tell them to contact Ms. Loftus. We also have the positions as well as which openings are listed on our N4CSGA.net. And so that's another opportunity for additional information for you. Also, on the N4C SGA website, we've included the hotel information for the hotels for the fall convention in Winston-Salem, so you can go ahead and start making those reservations, as well as planning your cultural enrichment. We have a listing of about 20 different local businesses to the area. Some are fun, some are more educational. And it's hopefully they'll serve as a great resource to help you plan your trip to Winston-Salem this coming fall. Any questions? No questions? All right. Next up is our student life calendar. And so over the summer, we host an intern here every summer, and so over the summer, our intern helped update the student life calendar. And basically what this is we've tried to create a comprehensive listing of all the travel that institutions may have to take their students to that is related to student activities, leadership, PTK, Phi Beta Lambda, and some of the Campus Compact events as well. So if you click on bit.ly/studentlifecal, CAL, it'll take you to a Google Sheet that we have with over, we'll say, 100 different dates of conferences and professional development. There are 3 tabs here. So the first will deal with all things campus life, student development. The second tab at the bottom is a professional development tab, and that's we looked at both regional and national conferences for student affairs professionals. So you'll have some NASPA, NACA, you'll have some of those large associations for student affairs and information. We have those conference dates as well to help you plan for fall of 19 or spring of 2020 or going into the summer. And then the last tab, we have conferences dealing, anything dealing with our minority male success initiative, diversity or equity, we've included in the third tab of this calendar. And so each year we'll continue to update this. If you have a conference that's not listed that you attend or that you will be attending, please feel free to add this list. Please feel free to add it to the list. You do have editing rights. And so we just wanted to try to provide a comprehensive resource for folks. So, if they're looking for a new place to take students or to maybe go and grow themselves, hopefully this will be a helpful resource for you. And feel free to bookmark the link. We won't change the URL, and so it'll be standard as we move forward. All right. Next up is the Community College Leadership Program, so the NCCCLP. It is a yearly program. It is sponsored by an organization sort of just adjoined to our system. This year, Gilbert is serving as the director of the Community College Leadership Program, and they are currently accepting applications from Friday that are due on Friday, September 13th. The leadership program is a year-long program, so it'll start with a retreat later this fall, and then you meet monthly at a different community college within our system or region within our system. And for each session, there's a slew of topics and leadership presenters on various topics that not only deal with our system, so learning more about our system, but then growing as a professional as well. They tend to take about 35 to 40 applicants each year, and the $1,200 should, well, in our case, so I was a graduate from this year. In our case, the system office paid for any leadership participants that were selected, and I know many institutions sponsor the individuals that attend from their local college, and so we don't expect, or we hope that certainly your college will support anyone who may be interested in that effort. Anyone can apply, and if you go to, I'm sorry I didn't include the URL in the presentation. If you go to www.ncclp.org, it'll take you to the organization's website where you can see pictures from past classes, look at the curriculum, as well as download the application. And so I encourage each of you to do it. It's a wonderful experience. You meet some really great folks from different avenues of our institutions across our system, and it's a great way to not only learn and more about yourself, but also be of service to others. My last note here is that there are ongoing job opportunities in our system in student life, and I just cherry picked two here from our system website. So if you go to jobs.nccommunitycolleges.edu, you'll see a listing of all of the open positions that are, that colleges submit to the system. Please note that this is not a comprehensive list, and that local colleges may have positions that aren't listed on our website, but these are some of the ones that deal with student life. So Pitt Community College is looking for a student engagement specialist and assistant softball coach, and Surrey Community College is looking for a student success advisor, and I've included links to the job description here. But note that our system office page is a resource for folks as they are looking for further opportunities in our system. Also, if you have a position, whether it's part-time or full-time, and you want it posted to our system website, we do that regularly for colleges that may want to further spread opportunities as well. And of course, if you have any position that you want sent to our student life listserv internally, if you email it to me, I can share it with everyone, and we'll make sure that it touches each of our 58 campuses. All right. So those were all the updates that I had. Did anyone have any questions, anything they wanted to discuss? When I submitted the survey with the meeting attachment, there were two comments that bubbled up, and I didn't know if anybody wanted to chime in or not. So the first comment was, could someone share any welcome week activity that they may have tried for the first time, or something that may be unique that they haven't done before that they want to provide feedback? I think they were just trying to figure out what vendor other colleges were using, or what colleges were offering for sort of a welcome back week, welcome mania type event. Anybody have anything they want to share on that aspect? I have a note here in the chat from Derek Arnold at Johnston that says Lamb events can do it all. Thank you for that feedback, Mr. Arnold. And I see Ms. Bowman is typing as well. It looks like Sabrina had a welcome back grab and go breakfast with pastries, fruit, and muffins that was very low cost, as students were returning first couple of days, that they purchased from Sam's. I'm assuming everybody either has a Sam's or BJ's P card. Not hearing any other feedback on that one. The other question that we received relates to a grant that I oversee, and so I'll touch base on this question just here for a moment. So the question was, well, I'll just explain the situation. For those that don't know, our minority male grant, the number of institutions that receive our minority male grant has been reduced from 48 to approximately 20. And with that came a lot of concern about how the system is going to continue to support colleges along this effort if the institution doesn't receive grant funding. And that's something that we've sort of taken to heart and have been considering very seriously. And so one of the things that our office is charged with is providing sort of a strategic plan or guidance for colleges that both receive funding from the system office as well as those that do not. And so our advisory committee will be discussing those strategies as well as what types of resources and or events or professional development that we need to put on for our system partners that are looking for either some direction or some further support. So that information is coming. We've heard those concerns, and Dr. Kelly is aware as well as some of our upper administrators. So you'll hear a number of opportunities for professional development. I think, as you know, as more of our colleges join the Guided Pathways movement, and in that movement, a lot of that is guided by discussions on equity and outcomes and sort of self-reflection of whether our system is helping as many students as possible. And so I think you'll begin to hear more of that conversation continue to move forward and come forward as we move with these certain initiatives over time. And so that is that. Another question I have here in the chat is, can we get who is paid or who is not paid for division meetings and fall conference? Yes. And so that's a great segue as I bring this meeting to a close, unless someone has something else they'd like to share. So I am currently serving as the sort of fiscal resource hub of the N4C SGA. So all invoices and registrations, please send directly to the system office, and I believe all the communications have had my contact information there. We've been inundated with checks and all those types of things, so I will be sending out receipts to each institution for their institutional membership fee, as well as the invoices and receipts for division meetings here within the next week or so. And so please be patient with me, but those are coming and I have those ready. Last question I have here is, that's not a question, that's a statement. Michael McGee from Davidson Community College wanted to share that there will be an ambassador symposium at RCC in Randolph. More information will be forthcoming in the future, so stay tuned. And with that, if there are no other questions or announcements, I'd like to say thank you for your time this morning. Anybody have anything they'd like to share? Going once? Going twice? So, well, as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything that you do for our students. I look forward to seeing some of you. I always like to get out of the office, so if you need me to come visit campus or do a presentation or a workshop or anything, please do not hesitate to give us a call, and we will be there. Thank you for everything that you do. Have a great day.